Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Like many, I spent the past weekend watching the Lifetime docuseries about R&B singer and artist R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly. I was glued to each episode as the series depicted unspeakable tales of abuse, violence, and pedophilia committed by the singer. I watched some episodes with my husband and others with girlfriends. Being from the south side of Chicago, we all had our own perceptions and encounters with him around town. A friend admitted that she and some close acquaintances often hung out at his studio and concerts as college students. She alleged that he had some relationships with young women she knew. My husband revealed that it was common knowledge in basketball circles that Kelly frequented high school and street courts teeming with young girls. It was also well known that he would use his around-the-way, down-to-earth personality to appeal to these younger women. As for myself, I had countless encounters with him in the fast food establishment I worked in as a teenager. It was close to his south suburban home, so it was not uncommon to find him there. He would come in with an entourage of men whose presence was overwhelming. They were mostly large, tall, well-clad in the most expensive fashions of the day and seemed to do Kelly's bidding. You knew when they were in the building for sure. Kelly would give the cashier, sometime myself or another young girl, $100 bill and say something to the effect of, "This is for my crew." They would proceed to place orders as we go and try to serve them without making a big deal. Kelly was our hometown hero and we all swooned when he came into the establishment. We were often beside ourselves with giddiness. I'm just keeping it real. Though I hear the stories, I did not know the fullness of his reputation at the time. I can't help but to wonder what would have happened if he had taken notice of me. He did not at all. However, I can't say the same of my co-workers. I cannot confirm anything either. I can see how his victims could have been pulled into his vortex of swag, fame, and wealth. He was personable, friendly, and seemed to have everything exactly what any young girl could be impressed by. Like many on the south side of Chicago who had seen him in action, we knew the stories were not only plausible but more than likely true in many regards. Yet he continued to operate with impunity. R. Kelly was a hitmaker and a lucrative investment for record labels. His talent and gifts were simply too profitable to be short-circuited by his need for help. After all, the very demons he dealt with gave us his hits that fueled the sexual aggressiveness of our generation. Sure, his problems existed, but they also gave him some great material. The label listened, the promoter listened, the network listened. They just delivered what we wanted, even at the expense of his victims and Kelly's own healing. The show had to go on, and it did for years and years and years. Kelly's music and productions became more and more preserved under the guise of sexual freedom and entertainment. In the back of our minds, we would wonder what's fueling these defying feats of sexual expression, but we all knew the answer was so jarring that it had to be ignored. We had to enjoy the hits without conviction. Truthfully, it revealed the R. Kelly in all of us, the desire for more raunch and more sexual deviance in our entertainment. Sure, his work pushed the envelope. It was edgy, but that's what we wanted, right? It's what got the party started and inspired Mac Daddies everywhere. There was a time where some things were considered abject depravity. Nowadays, these same things are respected mainstream. Par for the course. To swear in the presence of women was once considered rude. Today, our entertainment values and promotes objectification and violence against women. Some of our favorite movies, especially in the African American community, are representative of how we feel about our women. We waited with bated breath for the remake of Superfly. We celebrate movies like Straight Outta Compton, Hustle and Flow, and The Players Club. Films that objectify and degrade women. Who's going to be hurt by some innocuous nudity and few lewd storylines? It's what makes things interesting, right? Again, the answer is too painful to admit. If we are going to take responsibility of our tainted cravings, this will bring up another issue. Who decided where the line is drawn? What's innocent entertainment and what's inappropriate? In the R. Kelly saga, we have drawn the line at the age of consent. Many people are outraged simply because many of the women Kelly abused were young. Would the encounters be okay if the young women were 16 and 359 days old? The age of consent is 17 in Illinois and in some cases 18. Why this seemingly arbitrary age marker? It is not, and it cannot make sense due to another even deeper issue. The real underlying problem is that morally bankrupt, licentious behavior is a staple of the entertainment industry. Not only is it woven into the fabric of the power structure of Hollywood, but debauchery has made it into the themes and plots of critically acclaimed productions for decades. Women are objectified, children are sexualized. As time goes on, the boundaries are pushed further and further. We wince a little, but our grimaces of disgust don't last long. We just expose ourselves to the next barrage of moral decay discussed as entertainment as fast as Hollywood creates it. We are being groomed to accept more than clutch our pearls when we find out that entertainers are merely living the life that inspires their art. We ask for it yet don't want to know about the process it takes to create it. This is art imitating life, folks. Perhaps the most disturbing revelation about Kelly's story is the system that props him up. From record execs to policemen and personal assistant, there's been a solution for every problem he's created in his life. We created and sustain R. Kelly and many like him. We pull out our wallets and make our support known through our dedicated fanship. We have got to stop. As a mom of 2 children, my job is to shape their preferences on issues pertaining to life, diversion, entertainment, hobbies, lifestyle, etc. At the end of the day, they are the rising generation who will dictate the direction of the culture in the decades to come. The question is, what will be the foundation of this culture? Will it be more of the same or drastically worse it is right now? I am hopeful that the tide is changing. The idea that the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries was created and aired with such a positive reception is evidence of this fact. Movements like Me Too and Mute Kelly are a great start. Policy, protests, and prosecution should play a role in our march toward justice as well. However, I think a deeper change is also needed. We can't depend on the very system that works incredibly hard to mold our affections and tastes to change things. They can't be our filter. It has to be an inside job. We have got to confront the R. Kelly in all of us in order to return to standards that ultimately uplift and protect our society. If we don't look out for the most vulnerable among us, our legacy as a culture will be a tarnished one. As we reflect on the deeper revelations of Kelly behavior, let our disgust be matched with our willingness to boycott and abstain from anything that desensitizes us to what we know is true and right. Truth be told, R. Kelly is not the only culprit here. There are others. There is a system that needs to be addressed. In the meantime, let our preferences and desires in entertainment reflect dignity and self-respect for all. Let's prove that depravity is a bad investment because it no longer sells. I'm hopeful that we will all raise to the challenge. Aja McClanahan is a blogger, speaker, and author who writes on her website Principles of Increase and dozens of other web outlets on topics around personal finance, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, and comment.